Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I was just having some technical issues, but it seems like it has resolved finally. Sorry about that. But okay, cool. Yeah.
No,
Oh
everything is
no.
perfect. It's
Okay, perfect,
Thank you very,
perfect.
very much
normal.
for joining us tonight.
Yeah, and thanks for inviting.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thanks a lot, really. So, tonight
I
we are
think you
going
can
to
start.
talk about bear. Is the right pronunciation?
Ver. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
perfect. Ver. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Close
the
enough.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I would like you I would like you to explain a little bit about Bear and how this idea came to life, and if you can tell us a little bit about the beginning, the
Yeah.
original lineup, if anything changed, something like that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so basically, I've always wanted to have more of an old school type death metal band because
Yeah.
I was into this type of music since I was, I don't know, eighth grade or something, always into the extreme types of music. And then I became like part of the Hungarian punk hardcore scene and was very active in it, still is. I still am. And I met a guy there who we started joking. He was really into Morbid Angel and me too. And we were always joking like, one day, mate, one day we will do this. And then I don't know, I turned like 30 and I was like, shit, it's time, right? And then I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So he's Benda, he's a drummer. And then we started jamming. This was around 2 years ago. We started jamming. I started writing songs and he's like a really sick drummer. So yeah, and then yeah, I recruited people very, very carefully into this band. So that's how it started, and that was the angle basically. That's how we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Nice. Super nice.
And so you just released a demo, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
yeah, 2024,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's really really interesting about the sound. Yeah, we really really like it. And
Thank you.
can you please talk about the how it was the process of writing this demo and how long it took?
Yeah, so we wrote. Well, I guess for the demo, I wrote all the guitar parts and all the basic like elements of the song,
Yeah.
of the songs, and everybody else, of course, contributed afterwards. But it took us around with the final lineup and everything. It took us around a year to finalize this demo. We also had to like, of course, build out the chemistry, and we had to get used to each other because with Mark, our bassist, I have been playing music with like for 15 years, but with everybody else, on and off or not at all. So we had to get used to each other, and that's how you get a really good release and really good music, I think. So
Yeah.
it took us about a little longer than a year, I would say, and actually it was all completely DIY. So all the recording and everything we did ourselves in
Wow.
rehearsal rooms and our vocalist Ben said he's like a really sick sound guy too. So he had a concept, and we have another good friend. They kind of dreamt up this whole sound and everything together, and yeah, it just worked. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, it was a dream come true. Yeah, and the recording and all that, like it took us about like a good 2 3 months, maybe a bit too much, a bit too long, but we're definitely used to like how we want to do things now and
Yeah.
how we want to sound and all of this basically. So yeah, definitely.
Very nice. And what about the artwork around it? Like all the, yeah, how did it work?
Yeah, so I had a big, I think we will, yeah, I had a big concept in my head about this band. I was very adamant about how I want to do this thing. It's kind of like my baby. I made this band instead of children. So I'm I had this concept that I want to kind of get everybody that I know who's in the same underground scenes, mostly from the punk scenes who are playing
Yeah.
metal and death metal. I want to get everybody that I know involved, especially from other countries. So I have a good friend Serus, and he made the demo artwork. He's Lord Serus on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
he's a really cool guy, and he was like really into my punk band, and we got connected somehow, and I don't even remember how, but we just, we just got drunk together and hung out, and we played shows at their place. They came here. He's originally from Slovakia, and
Ah.
now he lives in Prague. So I asked him to do the artwork for us. He later also contributed for our newer shirt design. But also there's Tomasz, who's also a tattooer, skeleton warrior. He is the vocalist for Snet, among other
Yeah.
bands. He's also a really good long friend of mine. I asked him to contribute for one of the shirt designs we did.
Mm.
Also, I have a very good friend who's a really sick photographer. He did the photo shoot for us, and so for me, the whole image and the visuals was very important in a sense that I wanted all my friends and all the friends that are experts at their craft and became really good over
Sure.
the years to
Yeah.
contribute, because that, I don't know, that makes me really happy, and I feel like that's like the essence of art and doing this shit together,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's really great. And also, I would like to ask if there are some bands that inspired you for this particular kind of death metal.
Yeah,
I
sure,
know that
sure.
it seems hard.
Yeah, sure. Many, we have many influences.
Yeah,
For me, I'm actually still like really into the old school stuff. Like I just somehow never got bored of or tired of listening to Autopsy.
yeah,
I never get tired of listening to Morbid Angel, and I never get tired of Obituary. So these bands are very big influences for me. But I'm also like all ears for newer death metal as well, and especially the Mesako bands from our label. I'm always interested in them. I really like them. Snyat from Prague was a big influence because they kind of made it look really cool, and like sometimes here in Eastern Europe we feel like, yeah, we're maybe it's we should be a little bit like we're never gonna make it and whatever, and I think that gave a pretty big confidence boost for like everybody around the region, like, believe it or not. So yeah, I'm open to a lot of current bands as well. Cerebral Rot was a big influence for me, for example. That band was super sick. Mm, yeah, so I'm listening to. I'm just a big fan of death metal in general, so I'm
yeah,
always open to everything basically. That's cool and underground, of course. Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, yes.
yeah,
And I mean, so so this is of course part of the inspiration, right? And what is the way you start writing? Because I think you started everything as you said before. But what is your, I don't know, what happens when you start writing something? I mean, does anything
There's like some of you that
uh,
start something, or just together.
or maybe I don't know, some little spark that you have, or yeah.
yeah. Yeah, sure. For me, I I like to. I have a method of just playing the guitar. Like, as dumb as it sounds, I just noodle around endlessly, and something sticks with me. I start developing it, and like just into an amp, and that's it. Like, no gear, no recording, no layers or whatever.
Yeah.
And for the demo, it was different because I wrote all the stuff out initially, and then everybody added later on, which was very exhausting. It was fun, but it was exhausting. And now that we're hard at work on our full length, Adam, our other guitarist, he started writing songs, and he's like a really sick guitarist, much better guitarist than I am. So so yeah, those songs are also super sick, and our drummer's coming up with like full song parts and everything. So now it's more of a very cool, like, really good chemistry, and everybody is putting in their stuff, and I don't know, that's kind of something that I really enjoy right now. That's the method that we do. Yeah.
Amazing. Sorry.
Uh,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
no, please.
Can I ask you a very? I mean, it's more really about you. It's like, when did you? I mean, did you start studying some instruments when you were a child, or how did it work? It was like you self-taught, or maybe you just started with the piano, for example, or whatever. Like, how did it work?
Yeah, it's a good question. I was like, from a very early age, I was just as much into death metal as I was into punk. So for me, it was very, very, very important that I never learn any music. So I don't know why. I realize, of course, as everybody does, that yeah, it's not the right attitude necessarily. But yeah, I was very adamant about being self-taught and figuring shit out for yourself and all that. So I did that for a long time, and then I went to. I'm a bass guitarist originally, so I went to some bass lessons here and there, but mostly the biggest help and the biggest, like, I don't know, way to learn for me was just to be in bands for the last, I don't know, at this point, like 17 years.
Yes.
And you start figuring out things for yourself, and then I became more enthusiastic, and then I went back to have guitar lessons in the last couple of years, just because I have a friend who's a guitar teacher, and then we like to noodle around and work on some stuff. But yeah, 99% self-taught and just figured shit out for myself and YouTube and all this stuff. So yeah. No formal, nothing for
Oh,
me.
but
Yeah.
that's super nice actually, because I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's sometimes it's when the greatest idea comes from, right? So it's
Yeah.
because
But
you
I
don't have
also,
any limits, right? So
yeah, for sure.
it's
But I
great.
also have I also get some funny looks when one of the guys from Cancer would, after a show, he was like, why are you like, because I use like one hand for, like, I don't know, like a 9 fret like distance, and I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm a bassist, like I don't fucking know
sure.
what I'm doing. So yeah, but sure, yeah, it is like a very raw, like caveman-esque, I don't know, attitude that I have towards instruments. Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing,
yeah, that's
amazing.
great.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so, do you feel like about your band closer to the American scene or the European, or maybe you have
Mm.
like a kind of hybrid, something that you did just for yourself?
Yeah, well, I so I like a lot of US bands, and I like um a big chunk of the US scene, and there's like a lot of cool bands coming out right now and in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
Some cool ones from Australia as well, and so all around. UK too, but yeah, I feel closest to the European scene, just because I feel like it's very important to try and build out a European, like, existence, or like some kind of, like, presence, because yeah, everything is a lot of things are Americanized, and that's not essentially a bad thing or whatever, but
yeah,
I think there has to be like a counterbalance. And of course we have the Swedish stuff and all that, but like, yeah, this kind of like really slimy old school stuff, I'm not sure that there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of up and coming bands now, which I'm really, really happy about, especially here in Eastern Europe, like Cancer Void and Snead, as I mentioned, and some other bands that are really close to me. Um, so yeah, I feel like we want to, like, I have this idea of like carving out our own path here in this region. So I feel closer to that, but I'm really cool with everybody. So
yeah,
Yes, yeah. I wanted, so I mean, before we were talking about the all the graphics, the artwork, blah blah.
yeah.
Um, what do you think is, I mean, for you at least, is more important? It's like, do you think it's better? I mean, is more important the digital format or more the physical format? Like, for example, yeah, when you go to in tour and then you bring things, or maybe I mean, I sell mostly online, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is the best for you? Like,
Uh, for, yeah, so it's the same as, like, as I mentioned before, we come from like the punk scene and the punk ethos. So yeah, physical media is very, 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 very important for us, and we love, of course, we love vinyl, we love tapes. CDs are all right as well, I guess, but some people like that and are into that. I love physical media. I'm a big advocate of physical media. I collect horror movies as well on the DVD
yeah,
and VHS and whatever, because yeah, I really want this thing to survive. And of course, we are. active on the websites, and we sell everything, and we're super grateful and for all the digital sales as well, and people are into that, and I'm cool with that too. But I don't think that I will ever want to voluntarily release anything that will not come out on physical media. So
Yeah.
so I'm always going to be that way, and the same for merch. Like I feel like having a decent enough number of merchandise out there, it doesn't feel necessarily like sellouty or merchcore or whatever for me. It's just like a great way to contribute with artists, a great way to give
Yeah.
back and all this. And so for me, yeah, the physical stuff is important, and I really like this to survive as long as it could.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
So
Yes.
this is a really different question. So we
Yeah,
ask
but
you to everyone. But have you ever considered like composing soundtracks for an horror movie or stuff like this?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Why
big
not?
time,
Definitely.
big time. It would be well. It would be a great like honor. It's definitely on my bucket list. It would be really cool to make like just soundscape or something, just some atmosphere or whatever. But also like if just one of the Bear songs would be like featured on something like a soundtrack, like even if it's just like a cheesy, like whatever contemporary shitty horror movie, like I would be so happy. Like
Yeah.
that's definitely like bucket list stuff for sure, for sure.
Sure.
And I will connect our other question about this because it's
Yeah.
we have a kind of question that we would like
Oh
to
yeah,
know
sure.
to make to everyone. So I mean,
It's a little fun, yeah.
yes. So if you or your project like would be a movie, like a film,
hmm
what movie? I mean, what? Who would be the director? Who would be
Oof.
your role? Like,
Like
or
related to your
yeah,
band for
yeah, yeah.
sure.
Who would be the
Sure.
actor that would interpret you, or you know, all this?
Like you mean like what famous director would like direct our
Yeah, yeah,
band?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
What would you? Yeah, what kind of horror movie would be, or yeah,
Yeah, well, I think it would be like one of those um like not the Jollos, but the more slasher type, like zombie type Fulci movies for sure. Like I think our band would be like zombie flash eaters or one of those ones. Or maybe the City of the Living Dead or the Beyond. So we have a little bit of like occult, whatever, but still like pretty janky and like just a
yeah,
little bit all over the place. And
Yeah.
and yeah, because yeah, definitely like a patchwork of that. Yeah. I can see that. So yeah, I think Fulci would be like the director for sure,
yeah,
or at least I would want him. Yeah, that
of
would make
course.
sense.
And
Yeah.
so no, okay, now we are on the track again.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask if you are just playing live also now, or if you have a tour just prepared.
Um. So right now we are gearing up for like the next year, basically. So we're not planning. We have a lot of like we have some stuff coming up, some shows in January and some stuff in December. Nothing major, but we have really big plans for next year. I don't want
Oh,
to just spoil everything. We have some big stuff coming for next year. Definitely a lot of touring, a lot of shows, and then right now we're like really hard at work on the full length. So that's kind of the focus point right now. But yeah, big things coming, as they say in the business nowadays. Yeah, for sure. Next year,
nice.
So
yeah.
you are also recording right now?
We are getting ready to record. So
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
so I would say that we are pretty much finished with. Well, I would say we're 90% there with the writing, and then
yeah,
we want to go into recording. Yeah, soon this year, so we can release everything on the first quarter. Yeah, and then the cover art is being made. Then and there's we're prepping up for a really intense and exciting next year, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So all the collaboration or things will be anyway from the next, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
We're not planning on stopping or slowing down in
No, no.
any sense. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And it's still like I think on the. I mean, I don't want to ask you too many things about this, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah, you cannot reply eventually. But it's still on the old school like death metal.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, okay. So you
yeah,
will
yeah.
continue on the same.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I think that some songs are a little bit more. Um, I don't know how to say. Like, I don't want to say technical because I think in death metal, technical means a little bit different. But for us, like, I guess harder to play, or I don't know how can I like phrase this the right way. But yeah, still, I would say definitely still on the same idea, and just yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, and do you have like also some split or collaboration with other bands, especially for Hungarian bands, or?
Or other side projects.
No, not really. Not really. There's not a lot of death metal like this in Hungary, I would say. There's not a lot of people. I know now there are a couple of guys who are preparing something and still have some projects under the wraps, but in Hungary, I think like technical brutal stuff is more prevalent and people are into that. So yeah, no real projects. We have like a community plays that we are kind of sort of still active at, and so we want to do shows there, and want to do shows at places that are important to us. So venues that are active in any kind of like like in social stuff happening around the city and things like this, and so we always like to collaborate and organize together and things like this. But in terms of splits and music, no, not really, not for now. We are not against it, but there's not a lot of music like this in Hungary at the moment.
Yeah,
Who
Yeah.
knows what happens in a year, you know?
yeah.
And I mean, I mean, from what you say, it's very. It seems that the community is very active, especially in your place, right? It's
Yeah,
something that is very easy to feel that there's a lot of movement, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there is. I would say. Um, we we started this project. I'm no longer like an active member of it, but we started this project to fill like a big void in the city because nobody. We needed rehearsal rooms. We were really sick of like shitty places, and we're really sick of like paying on an hourly basis and stuff like this. So we really wanted to get out, and then yeah. So we built our own place and
wow,
started playing there, or like refurbished an old like factory and whatever. So yeah, and then that place became pretty active in the punk scene, and a lot of it's seen a lot of tours from all over the world, and a lot of punk bands came, but not a lot of death metal. We're kind of pioneering that at this place, I guess. But yeah, I would like to do more of that as well. Yeah, but it is
wow.
it
I
is
mean,
pretty active.
I really like this thing that you just said about the fact that sometimes you are like forced to have like a couple of hours paid just to stay there, and it's very difficult to build anything.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
it's so. I mean, just okay, 4 cigarettes,
Just
and
to
then
express
Yeah,
you know
yourself.
it's
exactly.
done. Yeah, and then it's very difficult to create the mood, the sound, and
Yeah,
you cannot
absolutely.
really you know.
Well, it's a feeling of like having something temporary, and you're not going to be able to. I feel like you're not going to be able to come up with the same stuff as you would at home
Yeah,
because nothing is yours. Everything has to be put back. Like you cannot customize it to your taste, and that was like something that I always dreamed about when I was like a teenager or like 20 or whatever, to finally have our own place, and yeah, that was a big step up for sure once we were able to do that. Yeah.
That's pretty great.
wow,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
completely agree. It's
And
amazing.
so,
Yes.
just to say a particular thing, um, I know that, so for sure in death metal music genre, so
Mm.
we have really kind of good community. But you can feel like from when you started doing death metal, you can feel the same kind of magic in doing it, or you think that has changed in a bad or good way?
Hmm. Yeah. I would say like I was a little bit like I was a little bit worried because, as I said, I was very like we are all coming from punk originally, and we all played in punk music, so it was very important for us that nothing goes or nothing will go against what we believe or what we stand for collectively.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried because the metal world for us is kind of a big leap, and it was something that's I thought maybe it could be different, but honestly, we relied a lot on our friends and we leaned on a lot of our friends and their connections and then their connections and their connections. And I was already aware of the labels that I was really into, for example, and all of those labels that I talked to or that I got in connection with were all super nice and surprise, surprise, they're all one way or another connected to the punk scene or just coming from there or they're just aware of what underground music should be or how it should be perceived and what it should stand for more or less. So I
Yeah.
was actually it was like for me so far it's been a very pleasant journey and a very pleasant surprise, and I phased yeah I've only seen positive vibes and energies, and I've only met like really cool dudes and really good organizers. All the labels are cool. The bands that we know and we played with are all like we've already been friends or we became insanely good friends, and it was all really cool. Like we did a big tour or like a bigger tour, like a 1 week tour during the summer with Troll K from Barcelona, and for me that was like a complete cold call, if you like, because we didn't know each other. We were just at the same label, and I liked their music and they liked us, and it was immediately like, okay, let's do something together, and we did it, and they're like the coolest guys ever, so we had like an
Wow.
absolute blast. So yeah, only good stuff so far, and I'm very happy about that. Everybody's been very cool and very receiving, and yeah, so it was good. It's a
Wow.
wild ride. Yeah,
That's also very, I mean, very nice when it happens, right? Because you're
yeah,
doing
yeah,
the tour together, and then you also feel so well,
yeah,
like the other people, so amazing. And I mean, maybe also on this note, I wanted to ask, maybe, did you have any, I don't know, the craziest concert that you've ever, that there was
yeah.
something very particular that happened to you, and then you would like to share with us?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. My favorite moment with this band was definitely we played in front of Carcass in May,
Oh,
and yeah, that was like obviously like a big dream come true, and we were all floored, and it was we already played like well smaller but like professional venues and whatever, and yeah it was like very professional and everything super on time, sound check super on time, everything like be here like 7 hours before and whatever, and it was very cool, but like it felt all very strict, and it was very special for me because, well, for starters, I had my mother visit us or watch the show, and my mom has never seen me play music ever. So
oh,
it was
Amazing.
yeah, yeah. She brought my two brothers and everything. It was sick, and she was into actually like underground music and whatever, and she remembered the Carcass guys as well. Like I remember the blonde guy, like he used to be very hot and whatever. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And anyway, so I was already like super grateful and pumped about it when this happened, and then we went backstage, and we had of course like a different room from the Carcass guys,
yeah.
and I was like, yeah, it's cool, like they're here and like whatever, we were like super like like they're the coolest, and but we didn't want to fanboy or whatever, and then. And
Sure.
then and then Bill Steers like, oh hey guys, it was a great show. Come in, have a whiskey with us and whatever. And we're all like, shit, like yeah, and then so they invited us into their backstage, and
Oh,
they were like literally the most down to earth, coolest guys. Especially Bill was like amazing, and it was for me as a big guitar hero and a big like influence on like basically all of us, especially like the early gory stuff,
Yeah,
and we had like the sickest conversations ever. But like proper like inside stories. Like when
sure.
he told me like at one point I asked him about death, and he said like, mate, if I'm being honest with you, like if there was no Schuldiner, we would not be here talking. And for me, that was like, holy
Yeah,
shit. Like, and he said like stories about when they met and toured
sure.
together, and like proper, like really, really like, just real stories, not like something you read on the internet like 300 times, but like, yeah, it was like one of
Wow.
the best nights, like not just in music, but like ever. It was sick.
Sure.
So yeah, that
Wow.
was number one for us, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
Wow. Can imagine. Wow. That's
It was very
amazing.
that
cool,
was
very
really
cool,
amazing.
and a ton of people, also.
Yeah,
So it was sick. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Well, we say hi to everyone,
yeah,
to them.
sure.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, I really want to thank you for being with us tonight, because
thank you
it
so
was
much.
very nice
Thank you.
to talk to you and to hear a lot more about the bear and yourself. And thank you so much, really.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting us, and me, and thanks for talking to us.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
I really
Thanks.
would like to ask if you could stay on Zoom so we can say bye to
Yeah,
each other.
definitely,
And then,
definitely.
so I will tell everyone, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
guys.
Bye,
Thank
Bye
guys.
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.